Hey, what's up? What's going on? Welcome to English with Dane, a podcast designed to improve your English. As always, I'm your host, Dane, and you can find me on Instagram at English with Dane. If you want a full transcript of this and all future episodes, send me a message. And if you don't use Instagram, send me an email at englishwithdane@gmail.com. Today's episode is about how to talk about music in English. As you know, I love music. I love playing it, making it, listening to it while I cook, while I'm in the shower, on my way to work, at the supermarket, everywhere. And I'm sure I'm not alone because music is a big part of our lives. So I thought I'd do an episode about it and hopefully make you more confident when talking about music. So let's start the show. You are listening to the 29th episode of Season 2 of English with Dane. Hit it. Okay, we have officially started the show, so let's talk music. Before we talk about instruments, terms, and whatever else, I wanted to make something very clear. When using the verb to listen, you always need to follow it with to. You don't listen music, you listen to music. You listen to the radio, you listen to your friend's advice, you listen to your favorite album, etc. I know in Spanish we say escucho música, but in English we need to add to. I listen to music. If you want to say escúchame or hazme caso, we say listen to me. We never say listen me. Okay, I just wanted to clear that up before we continue. When asking people about their musical preferences, there are a few ways to do it. You can ask, what type of music do you listen to? Again, what type of music do you listen to? You can also substitute type for kind. What kind of music do you listen to? You can also use the expression to be into something. You can ask someone, what kind of music are you into? To be into something means to be interested in something, to like something. So again, what kind of music are you into? If you want, you can also leave out the words type or kind and ask, what music are you into? That's also okay. When answering the question, what music are you into? You can say things like, well, I usually listen to pop, but I'm really into jazz at the moment. Or I just listen to whatever is on the radio. Or I listen to classical music exclusively if you're that type of person. When we talk about géneros de música, by the way, we use the word genre or genres in plural. What's your favorite genre? Jazz, hip-hop, rock, electronic, classical, etc. We call música clásica classical, by the way. We add the extra A and L in English, classical music. There are tons of genres, and it seems like more pop up, aparecen, every day. People get really specific when they talk about what type of music they make or are into. Okay, next, I wanted to talk a little bit about instruments. I wanted to go over some names, but more importantly, some pronunciation. I'll talk about the most common instruments you'll come across, the typical instruments you think about when you think of instruments. So, piano, guitar, drums, bass, violin, flute, saxophone, trumpet, etc. Let's clear up some pronunciation mistakes I hear very often. The first one, guitar. I hear guitar a lot, but that's not how we say it. We say guitar with the emphasis on the second syllable, guitar. Drums, we never say drums. Okay, I've heard that. Trust me, it's drums. Violin, never violin. It's violin. Trumpet, we don't say trumpet. We say trumpet. Is the sound you want, trumpet. I know it's tempting to say trumpet because in Spanish we say trompeta, but practice that sound, trumpet. Flute is next. I hear people saying flout because in Spanish we say flauta, but it's flute. Another thing is that in English, a flute is the one you play sideways, de lado. The one you play when you're in school is called a recorder. So a flute is this. And a recorder is this. Then we have bass, el bajo. A very common mistake is to say bass. However, a bass is a type of fish. It's una lubina. So saying you play the bass sounds ridiculous. You play the bass. Can you turn up the bass? Subirle al bajo. Can you turn down the bass? Bajarle al bajo. It's too loud. Now that we know how to pronounce these instrument names, let's talk about volume. We use two phrasal verbs when talking about volume. Turn up and turn down. Subir and bajar when talking about volume. Turn up and turn down are phrasal verbs that you can separate. You can say turn up the music or turn the music up. Let's take a look at a few translations to make sure, para asegurarnos, that you know how to use both of these phrasal verbs. ¿Le puedes bajar, por favor? Can you turn it down, please? Me encanta esta canción, súbele. I love this song, turn it up. No le subas, don't turn it up. ¿Le puedes bajar a eso? Can you turn that down, please? ¿Cómo subo el volumen? How do I turn up the volume? Or how do I turn the volume up? I hope that helps. Let's move on. Sometimes when we talk about music, especially if you are really into music, you want to talk about specific elements of the song. Maybe there's a song you like because you really love something the bass player is doing, or the way the drummer is playing, or maybe because it's the way the singer is performing, etc. Let's take a look at some more specific terms you can use and ways of using them by building a song together. The first one I wanted to talk about is the beat, la base. Maybe you are listening to a hip-hop song and the drums sound really cool and you want to talk about that. You can say, I love that beat, me encanta esa base, or ritmo, depending on the context. So let's get a beat going. Let's start with a kick drum or a bass drum, un bombo, something like this. Then we'll add a hi-hat, un charles, here in Spain. Now we need a snare drum, una caja, so the listener can really feel the rhythm. Now that we have the drums going, we're going to add a bass line, la línea de bajo. The bass is the instrument, but the bass line is what the bass player is playing. You're talking about the selection of notes. Okay, so now we have the drums and the bass playing together. The drums and the bass form a group called the rhythm section. I know that the bass is also a melodic instrument. You play it like a guitar, but the bass is such an important part of the rhythm of the song that it is part of the rhythm section. The word rhythm also causes problems, by the way. Just divide it into two syllables, rhythm. It looks more difficult to pronounce than it is. Okay, moving on. Let's add some chords, unos acordes, to go over the beat we made. I'll do this with a piano here and a guitar as well. Now we need a melody or a melodic element, something that will make you remember the song, something a little bit catchy, poco pegadizo. Let's do this with an electric guitar. there you go. We just built a song, or a beat at least, una base. Well, there's a lot more work to do, but you get the idea. The idea is there. All right, that's the show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned a few things about talking about music in English. So follow me on Instagram at English with Dane for quizzes and additional content. And remember to follow the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. The best way to support English with Dane is to give it a 5-star review and share it with friends and family. All right, talk soon. Bye-bye.